Welcome back. The HSRC, the Human Science Research Council, has analysed the long-term trends when it comes to election-related surveys in the country. Now, the findings of this analysis are going to be presented at a public seminar. Well, let's try and find out what it actually found out and what we're hoping to achieve with this and what it means, of course, for the future of our democracy. It's always great to have IEC Vice-Chairperson Janet Love joining me this morning. Hello to you, Janet. I'm very glad you got power this morning. You're able to do a Zoom session with me in stage 5 power cuts at the moment. So let's talk a little bit this election-related surveys. What are we actually trying to achieve with this? Why are we doing this?
Good morning, Gareth, and good morning to the viewers. The Commission has had a practice for over many years of ensuring that what we do is guided by data that is the product of fairly careful research done by independent institutions. And we've had ongoing partnerships with different institutions to ensure that we look at issues that deal with what drives voter participation, what informs that participation or the lack thereof, and secondly, also to look at the manner in which elections are conducted in order to ensure that we're able to respond to what the voting public have as concerns and as well as being able to understand where we are doing, where we could do better, but also where, as far as voters are concerned, the performance has been in order. So that's been an ongoing process, and we're in a situation, I think, as a globe, but particularly also as a country, where democracy is facing a lot of challenges because of mistrust, I think, in just the processes, but also I think just because of the burden of the huge number of challenges that people have to face in their day-to-day lives, and the way in which the electoral process needs to be talking to people, to reach out to people so that they participate in order to ensure that we, in that manner, are able to defend and protect not only our democracy, but also to ensure that the country performs in the manner that the voters would like.
Are you able to, I know this is all going to come out at a public seminar, and I'm sure we'll unpack this once all the details come out. Janet, is there one thing that stood out for you when you saw the research, when you saw the results, Janet, and you were reading through it and you sat back, even as the IEC Vice-Chairperson, where you thought, I didn't realize the public were as worried about this particular issue as they actually are? What stood out for you? Give me one example.
Look, I think that one of the issues for us as a commission is to make sure that people who are particularly young people, but all people, are really able to understand what will be expected of them, what will happen on the voting day, and to really feel involved and engaged in the process. I think what has emerged is a trend whereby particularly young people are making a conscious choice not to vote, which is a choice. We're not denying that. But what we are feeling that is reflecting is a need for an engagement at a much more robust level with our population as a whole, and particularly with young people, of why voting is an important component of ensuring that there is a way in which young people, South African citizens, are able to shape the destiny of our country. And I think that the problem that we've seen is that over the years there's an assumption that has grown that all of the people of South Africa who we're wanting to vote really do know how the democratic process as a whole, not just the electoral process, how that should and does function. And I think that is something certainly from the point of view of research and the understanding that appears to be coming from the electorate as to what choices they have, that seems to be something that is growing in strength.
I'll leave this as a last question to you in conclusion, Janet, as well. I suppose it's also tricky for the IEC. There's almost a marketability of elections, as you just alluded to try and get especially the youth to come out and vote. So it must be a difficult line to walk to get people to come out and take part in elections, but the IEC also can't come out and try and promote politics either. I suppose it's a tricky line that you have to try and walk, because you can't interfere in the world of politics, but you want people to come out and exercise their rights, don't you?
Absolutely, and I think that that's why the Commission has embarked on a very extensive program at all of the tertiary institutions, and also is trying to deepen its program within the schools in order to ensure that the conversation is not simply about registration and elections, but is about democracy in a broader scope. Not that we are talking about this or that political choice, but talking about the importance of preserving the system and elections are absolutely central to that system of democracy as a whole.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. Election education, I think some people would say, is where the focus should also move to, especially as we head up to 2024. Janet Love, thank you very much. I always appreciate the time in speaking to you. IEC Vice-Chairperson Janet Love. Let me just remind you exactly what we were talking about there. It's this analysis on long-term trends when it comes to election-related surveys.